Welcome back to the Jazz Pursuit. In this video, we're going to look at the jam session classic, Cherokee, written by Ray Noble in 1938. Cherokee is the first of 5 pieces that make up Noble's Indian Suite, and there are notable recordings by Charlie Parker, Clifford Brown, Bud Powell and Stan Getz. In this video, we're going to break down and analyse the harmony, melody and structure of Cherokee, hopefully making it easier to learn and remember. Do like and subscribe, and for a PDF handout that includes all the analysis, lead sheet and piano sheet music of our arrangement, visit our website linked in the description below. Right, let's get started. So first off, let's start with the key bits of information. Cherokee is in 4/4 time, and in the key of B flat major. The form is 64 bars, which is divided into an A-A-B-A structure, where each section lasts for 16 bars. First, there's the A section, which is then repeated. This is followed by the B section, before ending with a final A section. So that's the key bits of information. Now let's dive in and take a look at the harmony in the A section. The A section harmony begins on chord 1, B flat major 7. Then it moves to chord 4, E flat major 7, and gets there through a 2-5-1 cadence. E flat major is the target point of the 2-5-1. Therefore the 2 chord is F minor 7. The 5 chord is B flat 7, and chord 1 of the cadence is E flat major 7. The harmony rests on chord 4 E flat major 7 for 2 bars, and then it turns minor to E flat minor 7. The harmony rests here for 2 bars before resolving back to chord 1, B flat major 7. So that's the first half of the A section. Cherokee begins on chord 1, B flat major 7. Then there's a 2-5-1 cadence to chord 4, E flat major 7. F minor 7 is the 2 chord, B flat 7 is the 5 chord, and E flat major 7 is the 1 chord. The harmony rests on chord 4 E flat major 7 for 2 bars, before it turns minor and becomes E flat minor 7. Then the harmony resolves back to chord 1 B flat major 7. And now for the second half of the A section harmony. From chord 1 B flat major 7, the harmony rises to chord 2. We'd expect chord 2 in B flat major to be C minor 7, but this isn't the case. Instead, it's a dominant 7 chord, C7. Chord 2 as a dominant 7 chord is a common harmonic feature in jazz standards, and it's known as a secondary dominant. The dominant chord of the key is chord 5, so this is known as the primary dominant chord. The secondary dominant chord is the dominant chord of the dominant chord, so chord 5 of chord 5. In B flat major, chord 5 is F7, so this is the primary dominant, and chord 5 of F7 is C7, so this is the secondary dominant. So, the harmony rests on the secondary dominant chord C7 for 2 bars. Then, it turns minor and becomes the regular 2 chord C minor 7. C minor 7 is then the starting point of a 2-5-1, which resolves home to chord 1 of the key, B flat major. C minor 7 is chord 2, F7 is chord 5, and B flat major 7 is chord 1. So that's the A section harmony. Now let's hear it in time on the piano. And now let's take a look at the A section melody. The A section melody consists of 4 phrases and uses only the notes of the home key scale, B flat major. In jazz standards, there are 2 main types of melodies: those that are written on the harmonic progression and those that are written in the home key, and the harmony is instead applied afterwards. Like many early jazz standards, Cherokee is in category 2, and the melody is written in the key. As this is the case, we'll analyse it in relation to B flat major. So, phrase 1 outlines a B flat major 6 chord. It starts on the 3rd D, then rises to the 5th F, 6th G, and root B flat. The phrase then ends by falling to the 6th G. Phrase 2 starts on the 5th F, and then alternates this with the 3rd D, before ending by falling to the 2nd C. Phrase 3 rises through the B flat major triad, from the root B flat to the 3rd D to the 5th F. Then it jumps to the 3rd D, an octave higher, before falling to the root B flat. The A section melody ends how it started, by outlining a B flat major 6 chord. Phrase 4 starts on the 6th G, then falls to the 5th F, 3rd D, and ends on the root B flat. Now let's hear the A section melody in time on the piano. So that's the A section harmony and melody. Before we get stuck into the B section, we first need to add a first time ending to the A section. The second time ending resolves to chord 1 B flat major 7, 2 bars before the end of the form. This makes the A section feel finished, before moving on to the B section. However, the first A section is followed by the second A section. So in the first time ending, the resolution to chord 1 happens 2 bars later. This not only avoids the harmony sitting on chord 1 for 3 bars, but also reinforces the start of the second A section. It begins the same way, on chord 2, C minor 7. Then there's a re-cadence. A re-cadence does exactly what it says on the tin. Starting on an initial chord, it then cadences back to this same chord through a 5-1 cadence. This harmonic tool is used to either reinforce a specific tonal area or to bide time in the form. Here, in the first time ending, it's biding time in the form, and the 5 chord in the 5-1 re-cadence back to C minor 7 is G7. Now, we're 2 bars away from the end of the form, and the harmony moves through the 2-5-1, from chord 2 C minor 7 to chord 5 F7 to chord 1 B flat major 7 in bar 1 of the second A section. So that's the harmony. Now let's take a look at the melody. The melody begins the same way, by falling through the B flat major 6 chord. Starting on the 6th G, it then falls to the 5th F and 3rd D. Then, rather than landing on the root, it instead lands on the 2nd C, and then rises a semitone to C sharp, which then rises another semitone to the third D in the first bar of the second A section. As the melody lands on a C sharp on the F7 chord, we should add this sharp 5 to the chord symbol, so F7 becomes F7 sharp 5. Now let's hear the first time ending. And now let's take a look at the B section. Let's start with the harmony. The A section harmony stays within the home key, moving through the various landing points, like chord 1, chord 4, and the secondary dominant chord 2. In contrast, the B section harmony is made up of a series of 2-5-1 cadences that are outside the home key tonality. The target point of the first 2-5-1 is a semitone higher than the home key, B major 7. As B major 7 is the 1 chord, this means C sharp minor 7 is the 2 chord, and F sharp 7 is the 5 chord, which resolves to chord 1 of the cadence, B major 7. Then, this B major 7 chord turns minor to B minor 7, and becomes the 2 chord in the next 2-5-1. As B minor 7 is the 2 chord, this means E7 is the 5 chord, and A major 7 is the 1 chord. The same process from the previous 2-5-1 is then repeated to find the next 2 chord. The A major 7 chord turns minor to A minor 7, and becomes the 2 chord in the next 2-5-1. As A minor 7 is the 2 chord, this means D7 is the 5 chord, and G major 7 is the 1 chord. The same harmonic trick is then repeated for a third time. The G major 7 chord turns minor to G minor 7, and becomes the 2 chord in the next 2-5-1. As G minor 7 is the 2 chord, this means C7 is the 5 chord, but the cadence doesn't reach chord 1. At this point, we're 2 bars away from the end of the B section, so the harmony needs to move towards chord 1, B flat major, ready for the final A section. This happens through another chord quality change. The C7 chord doesn't resolve, and instead turns minor to C minor 7, and becomes the 2 chord in the final 2-5-1. As C minor 7 is the 2 chord, this means F7 is the 5 chord, which resolves to chord 1 B flat major 7 in bar 1 of the final A section. So that's the B section harmony, a series of 2-5-1s that move down in tones. This is a stark contrast to the harmony in the A section, and is one of the reasons why Cherokee is so popular with jazz musicians. From an improvising perspective, Cherokee has it all. The A section is an exercise in navigating the common landing points in the home key, and then the B section is a 2-5-1 workout, outside the original tonality. Now let's hear the B section harmony in time. Now let's take a look at the B section melody. As the B section harmony is outside of the home key tonality, the melody can't continue in the same style as the A section, where it was written in the home key. Instead, it outlines the chord progression and hangs on the upper structures of the harmony. The B section is made up of 2 long phrases, and each phrase has 2 parts. Phrase 1 begins on the 9th of the C sharp minor 7 chord, D sharp. Then it falls to the 5th of the F sharp 7 chord, C sharp, before falling through a major triad built off the 5th of the B major 7 chord, outlining the 9th C sharp, 7th A sharp and 5th F sharp. Part 2 of phrase 1 begins by mirroring the harmony. Here, the harmony changes from B major 7 to B minor 7, and the melody now falls through a minor triad built off the 5th of the B minor 7 chord, outlining the 9th C sharp, 7th A and 5th F sharp. The phrase then ends by falling from the 5th of the E7 chord B to the 5th of the A major 7 chord, E. Now let's hear phrase 1 in time. Phrase 2 is then a sequence of phrase 1. It begins on the 9th of the A minor 7 chord, B, before falling to the 5th of the D7 chord, A. The first part of the phrase then ends by falling through a major triad, built off the 5th of the G major 7 chord, outlining the 9th A, 7th F sharp and 5th D. The harmony now changes from G major 7 to G minor 7, and this is reflected in the melody. The melody now falls through a minor triad, built off the 5th of the G minor 7 chord, outlining the 9th A, 7th F and 5th D. The phrase then ends by falling from the 5th of the C7 chord, G, to the root of the C minor 7 chord, C. Then, just like in the first time ending of the A section, the C rises a semitone to C sharp, which then rises another semitone to D for the first note of the melody in the final A section. Now let's hear the B section melody in time. So that's Cherokee, and the last thing to mention is a harmonic substitution in the A section. In bars 7 and 8, the harmony currently sits on chord 4 minor, E flat minor 7. A common substitution here is to drop a backdoor 2-5-1 into bars 7, 8 and 9. A backdoor cadence is where the 5 chord resolves up a tone to the 1 chord, rather than down a 5th. So, E flat minor 7 is the 2 chord and starting point, which means the 5 chord is A flat 7. Then, the A flat 7 chord resolves up a tone through the back door to chord 1 B flat major 7. It's common to hear this outlined in people's improvising, but equally common is abandoning the E flat minor 7 chord and instead having 2 bars of the backdoor 5 chord, A flat 7. In this scenario, we need to add a sharp 11 to the chord symbol, as the melody note here is a D, so A flat 7 becomes A flat 7 sharp 11. So that's the whole tune covered. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Do like and subscribe, and for a PDF handout, that includes all the analysis, lead sheet and piano sheet music of our arrangement, visit our website linked in the description below. Happy practicing!